Good morning. So we are actually coming out of Hinduism and we're going up to the next level of religion right now. This is why I said it's important to start popping bubbles. So we are going to actually try to get to the point where it's just all math and science like the days of Greeks and Romans. So we are climbing through it. I'm going to tell you something. A lot of you are seeing on games like these like Chief Almighties and everything. The moment you see antlers flip downward, you shouldn't be afraid because Rick Perry does enough hunting with some of the politicians that he's actually able to shoot correct slaughters. So there's no need to be concerned about, oh, I see an omen, I see a Wiccanism. These are all the things that people are creating in order to keep their jobs. And part of the problem when I walked into this plumbing place, oh my God, was the whole fact that you needed to get Cobra. Cobra was the biggest argument when Obama started to become president. You don't need Cobra, you need to find somebody to give you health insurance, and then you need to be able to stash money for health insurance. So now it's the biggest fight ever. So it's all the little things. So we're going to try to get to a point where it's just math, science, and politics. The problem is that all these people are using purchases to to explain this whole loop through. A lot of people are making bad purchases. The problem is that you're actually making purchases because you need to find a way to comfort yourself. So it's getting up there. So we had a whole Hinduism doesn't last too long. If you know what's going on, it doesn't last too long. The problem is once we get through Catholicism, everybody's going to start saying, well, now I can start praying, I can start doing this. The problem with that is that we really don't know who God is. So you can't go and say, you know, Catholic won. No, it didn't. It didn't win, actually. So I actually know the correct answer, which is why I'm saying the whole farm bit, y'all need to hang on to that farm bit because the raccoon comes into play big time. Believe it or not, the raccoon is a very important animal on farm projects. They really are. So when you get off the bread farm and you go into the cattle farm, wheat and cattle go hand in hand. So imagine a farmer slaughtering just youngings. Okay, so that's like a big no-no, right? But what happens if you have a whole bunch of bulls? Hold on. You have a whole bunch of bulls and females, and none of them are paired up. So how do you decipher that? That's no different than going to the crop field and understanding why the wheat didn't grow, but the corn did. So you can make cornbread or other parts of the products on the land. Well, you go on to a cattle, you only have one type of source, and that's it. So now we're going to go through this. Everybody's going to start saying, oh, my prayers worked. Oh, my petitions worked. We're stuck. We're completely stuck. So you have to keep constantly popping bubbles, okay? Because if that was the case, everybody's prayers would have been answered on one particular day of one particular year, which was 9/11. So that is a debunk right there. I said it. I know the correct answer. We have to keep going through all the way up until math and science because that's really the scope of it all. Now, we're going to hit through psychology. Problem is with psychology, oh my Lord. They base psychology now because I accidentally hit, you have to go through that. They base psychology on Wiccanism. Problem is there's no such thing as Wiccanism. It's just a bunch of people creating hysteria, superstition. So it kind of sucks. So if you go to Bed Bath & Beyond, and I like charcoal, okay? I like charcoal because it's very detoxing. It pulls out impurities on the pores and everything. So I'm all about skin. So charcoal is black. And I just happen to have a bubble bath that I use for my feet. And it has the star connection on it, the moon, okay? The aromatherapy. They use Seroquel to make that connection. So if your husband or your wife comes in and says, well, she has like, black products and stuff, and she does connect the dots, they're going to give her Seroquel or him Seroquel. So it's all connected now that if you do mandalas, you have Lexapro, you have Prozac, you have all that stuff because I was doing that right before and after. So now that got tied in. So now Seroquel, because he says I had bought a $2,500. We all know the story of this one, okay? Because I couldn't get to these fast enough, and I had done so much correct that by the time I could get to this, it wasn't enough to break through whatever that phone call was about. Okay, Miss Dolphin. Okay, we're stuck in this infinite loop. The big bubble you're creating is the Hindu creation bubble. All I got to do is tell Miscavige to go call Penelope, and all we have to do is play parts. That's all we have to do, because we're not going into fractalism, which is correct about the creation story. Because in order to develop math and science, you have to go the creation through math and science. You can't just say the creation of just arts and business. No, it doesn't work like that. So we have to play it out. And I'm Vishnu, always, 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 because of how many times I've gone through this, what we call it the stunt, but it's really suicide. Okay? You don't ever survive massive doses. Never. Even the chemist would tell you that. Even a biochemist would tell you that. And especially on the food allergy that I have. Okay? Like I said, I waited. I built this up. Okay? I tested before for the STD part, and I kept it quiet. So now everything's out in the open. Okay? I'm as innocent as it fucking gets. And I'm healthy and normal. You say something illogical to a Vulcan's going to react. They're not going to put your hands on people. Okay? My grandmother, she's sick in the head. Okay? If we were to go on acre number 14, where all the Italians are at, oh no, it would be, yeah. You showing your teeth? Showing teeth in Italian means what, pumpkin? Yeah, knock the fuck off. That's what it means. You ever get that? Yeah. So it's culture. It's all culture based. Okay? Which is why we're not doing that. We're up in like 1 through 10. We're gonna stay out of that one. It's funny. It's funny if you're drunk and you need to walk it off to go over there, and then I'll walk right back. Be like, I'm never drinking whiskey again. Okay, but that's what happened with me. I'm never drinking any type of liquor. I'm gonna stick with my Coca-Cola and styrofoam cups. Okay, because now I'm on an anti-eco-friendly warpath because of what I just went through. It went through the system and so anyways, we're going through the scales now. It's not fun. I call them scales. I don't call them steps, because it's going to create confusion when we go into math and science, because everybody's going to say, well, we just got done through steps. And that's how I know you guys are all still stuck in psychology, because y'all decided to buy shoes, which was created by me. So we're going to go and do this spread real quickly, because the cards are starting not to show superstitions anymore, which is a good thing. So we got a queen and a 3. Should be able to balance out. 6s are still bad. Still Lindsey Graham, because of something. We're not going to go into it, because that is definitely a hunter's secret right there. There we go. 2 queens. It's already a bad day. It's already a bad day. Should be able to have like an even spread. It's not. We have 11. Yeah. We're going to get to a point where we won't need this. It'll just be all based on how many bubbles got popped all at once, how correct you stood, and how well you understand that it's going to continue to loop through. Please end in a good note. Nope. Okay. 11s, 13s, 2 queens together that shouldn't be together. It's going to be what it is now. But like I said, we're going to, towards the end of it, before we flip through, it's going to go through all the religions. So we just got out of Hinduism, Sikhism, and all that other stuff. Buddhism is part of it. Now we're going to hit math and science, and before you know it, we're going to be into December 19, 2015. The whole game of it all is to save money. Because every state is being attacked by this quote-unquote COBRA Act, okay? It's COBRA healthcare. So when you do my Dianetics, you have to say it out completely, because I will hear it. And that means it goes through faster and faster with the looping, which is why I did loops versus just hit repeat. Everything has to be before 2012, okay? Everything has to be before 2012. Anything after that, it's now presidential campaign Dianetics you're listening to. So it's kind of shitty right now. So what ends up happening is you guys will rely on me, but there's going to be a point where I'm going to say, how well did you correct yourself each and every step of the way? Meaning, did you recognize every single mistake you took the loop through before, and how much did you push through to correct it? So some of y'all are saying, well, I'm going to the gym to do it. You can't do it through the gym. You can't. Because there's an argument that Rick Perry and I are having, which is, what's IT? Okay. What is technically the phone communication IT? Because on the farmland, we have to create this fucking thing. And I swear to God, it has to do with people's connectivity, which also is Scientology based. So really 1 and 2, Farmland 1 and Farmland 2 is Scientology versus Rick's Catholicism. And Rick's Catholicism is almost on point. Almost. He refuses to look at locusts as a bad sign. It is a bad sign. I married fucking Mitch. Okay, that's a black locust. When a honey locust marries a black locust, that's a bad sign. Okay, that's a bad sign. It's a good sign for God. Bad sign for the farmer. Okay, you don't see these creatures? These creatures eat everything the fuck up. And then they will tell you whether or not you got a bad or good season. They ain't nice. I have honey locusts. Honey, tell me what's going on. I'll tell you what's going on. I'll tell you what's going on. We're going through a loop. It's going to be infinite. So there's no need to create all this fucking crap. There's no need. Everybody can stay at one point, and then come December 19, 2015, it switches off. Nobody knows how to play this. The correct answer is a switch off. It's not the craziest thing. It's the coolest thing. Nobody wants to see that because why? Women are still stuck in this whole... They're stuck on number 2. Candidate number 2, which is Ted. Ted's thinking is still the old Italian. We're going to get through it. But the more math and science you do, okay, like for instance, if my registered drawer open after scanning it in, that means it's correct. You can't say that. But if somebody's sitting there pulling out bags and throwing out receipts, that's a little different. You need to walk away, okay? That's the correct thing that, you know, Spock would do. Okay, we're leaving that then. You're not going to stay with somebody that has their brain upside down. So think of it like that. So if Miscavige has to make everybody show their brains being upside down, we're going to have a problem. Then we go into Pinky and the Brain, and ain't nobody understands that but me and Sabrina. Because that's how we started off as sisters. She was the brain, I was the Pinky. Then she became Pinky, and it was like, what are you doing? Sit down. I got a new album. Okay, go ahead, run around. Don't blow up the house. That's my job. My job is to blow up the house. Because she says I'm Kim. It's all right. I'm going to blow it up. I'm going to set it on fire. Because that's what you're supposed to do on a farm. When a bad farmer has come onto the land and has created enough evil and wickedness, you have to set it on fire. You have to. You can't just say, well, just use the wood. No, you have to get rid of it. Everything. You don't know what the hell they did. You have to burn it. You have to set everything on fire. No different than what it says in the Bible. You will have to destroy all the land and all the property and all the livestock to get rid of it. It has to go back up. And then it will come back down purged. It reads so sweet and simple. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bunch of bees sitting there reading it for God. All right. Everybody says that was a bad spread. What do you know? Look, see that? It's not bad. I just pulled it out. This wasn't even anywhere near a freaking 8. 2 2s. What do you know? It's even worse. 10 and a 3, 13. Back to Donald Trump. Y'all got 9 months. That doesn't mean to get pregnant. I don't know where anybody got that fucking shit from. That's a 10 diamond and a 9